on to the basis of that, which is energy and the laws of the universe. We're going to talk about what are the 7 Hermetic principles and the 12 universal laws, and where do they come from. The 12 universal laws are thought to be built in systemic characteristics of reality. They are innate and unchanging laws of our universe that ancient and indigenous cultures have always intuitively known. All the principles and laws are attributed to ancient spiritual traditions of Hermetic philosophy, Hermes Trismagestus, and the 7 Hermetic principles. Hermes Trismagestic, thrice majestic, that's what Trismagestus means, the thrice majestic. 7 principles are the foundation of Hermeticism, a branch of spiritual philosophy dating back as early as the 1st century AD. They were outlined by famed author Hermes Trismagestus, who is believed to have written the Emerald Tablets and the Corpus Hermeticum, 2 highly influential ancient teachings. In the modern day, we can see how these teachings are scientific in nature and related to the study of physics and quantum physics. Hermes Trismagestus' work influenced both ancient Greek and Egyptian cultures, with both adopting him as a god of wisdom. In Greece, he was called Hermes. In Egypt, Thoth. It was actually believed to be heralded to have come from famed Atlantean people and culture, called by many names across many different cultures. Today, anthropologists and historians have expressed the thought that it is even including indigenous American cultures such as the Aztec, where many scholars believe he was believed to be called Quetzalcoatl, or the Mexica, their highest god, and the Maya, where he was said to be called Kukulkan, both meaning the feathered serpent. He was known in this time as a great master of the universe, and is said to have lived for thousands of years. Over time, the 7 Hermetic principles were passed down by word of mouth, from master to initiate. These teachings became called esotericism, Western esotericism, or the Western mystery tradition. Eventually, in the early 20th century, these teachings were compiled into a book called the Kabbalion, written by the 3 initiates. Today, they are an occult source of wisdom, separate from any religion, yet powerfully applicable and intricately influential to all well-known earthly religions and life philosophy. Hermes Trismagestus explains the foundational laws of our reality in his 7 Hermetic principles going back to ancient Egypt and Atlantis. The list of ancient laws has withstood the test of time. All of the laws are about self-mastery and development through positive conscious action and attitudes such as empathy, interconnectedness, and love. The Hermetic principles and the 12 universal laws are about self-empowerment through conscious awareness. The use and meditation on these ideals leads to ultimate accountability and reflection upon one's own responsibility in any manner and one's duty to others, one's duty to self, and one's contribution to community. The laws are often associated with Ho'oponopono, a meditation for freedom originating in ancient Hawaiian culture, a Tuin culture, which when simplified, relate to and involve conscious affirmations and expressions of remorse, forgiveness, gratitude, and love. The Hawaiian spiritual tradition believe that inside all of us is the memory that remains of every experience in the universe from moment of creation, from infinite times in the past, recorded as thought forms in our etheric body. This body has 3 aspects and is understood to us as our subconscious, or what they call unihipili, or the inner aspect of the child, the subconscious mind. Uhane, or the divine mother, known as the conscious mind. Aumakua, or father, or the superconscious mind. These 3 aspects make up the inner family, which is in close relationship with the divine creator and the form self-identity, which together, again, following the understanding of this book, develops its themes from one's cosmic identity. There are 12-step processes of Ho'oponopono developed by practitioner Morna Simeona, which I will not delve into here, and the reader can research on their own. I will, however, list a short mantra developed by Dr. Ihaleakala Hugh Lin. These ideas, affirmations, and processes address all 3 inner aspects of the etheric or light body. The most well-known affirmation is simply, I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I love you. All of these philosophies are based on one overarching premise. The premise is supreme accountability for oneself. So to understand the way that the ancient Hawaiian healing culture viewed healing, making peace with the inner aspects of your child, your subconscious mind, the inner aspects of the divine mother, the feminine, and known as the conscious mind, and the inner aspects of the divine father, or the superconscious mind, all in balance. And when we think about what we did learn in the last video about DNA, and how DNA is a record of every experience in the form of body chemistry, and how recording of information produces body chemistry states of chemistry in the body, which are controlled by our organs and are resulting in being emotions. So part of that genetic knowledge is that we inherit is how to feel emotions, or feeling emotions. That's why they say, well, transgenerational trauma that is not just confined to your experiences, but also it's confined to the experiences of your people, your bloodline, and their families. Great calamities socially experienced in community. Great experiences that come upon people. So how do we heal these aspects? And how do we access our knowledge of these aspects internally? Well, we do that through conscious affirmation, understanding, breaking down, and turning back to our traditional ways, and going back to the healing in those ways. Because some of those, like Ho'oponopono, address all of the inner aspects, allow us to be accountable, feel the emotions of accountability, and that allows us to rewrite and to heal transgenerational trauma. It allows us to experience, be accountable, affirm our power, and walk with community through a supreme accountability. And that also opens up our reception, but it's allowing ourselves to feel the experiences, to make peace with them. Because we're writing a new experience through our transactions, through what we're choosing to do now. So we're writing healing back into our DNA, because our DNA is recording everything that we do and everything that we feel. So I'm going to go into the 7 Hermetic principles. So the 7 Hermetic principles, of course, as we said earlier, are of Hermes Trismagestus, and this is the basis of this esotericism, this study of self and supreme accountability, and philosophy, and law. But it starts with the principle of mentalism. The principle of mentalism states that the universe is akin to a mental projection. This is about manifestation, which is all about using your thoughts to shape your reality. For anything to be a thought must precede it. Through this principle, it's believed that God is consciousness, thought, and the universe is manifestation of the mind of God. Mental corresponds to spiritual, which corresponds to physical using this law. We too can harness the power of our minds to create the life we want. The all is mind. The universe is mental. This comes from the Kabbalion, William Walker Atkinson, and 3 Initiates, 1908. Principle of mentalism. All is shaped through our perceptions. The principle of correspondence. We've all heard this quote before, but maybe you never knew it was Hermes who first coined it. It's totally related to the first principle of mentalism, which states that we hold in our thoughts and mind what will become our reality. It explains the many planes of existence, including including those of lower and higher vibrational frequencies and how they're connected. As above, so below. So below, so above. And that's from the Kabbalion. Again. So, everything corresponds. There's a level to any object that you can perceive, and there's a side that you can't perceive that's still part of it, because like whenever you see anything, right, in this dimension, for example, the phone. I'm looking at the phone in this dimension, I'm perceiving it in this way, but I'm trusting that the rest of it exists because I feel it, but I'm not seeing it visually, but I'm seeing it in one plane. They say, oh, 2 dimensions, but as you turn, you're perceiving it, but you know that there's another side to it. So essentially the same way that a tree grows, we look at a tree growing, the tree has the presence of what you see as a tree, a stalk rising and arms spread out. But in order for it to balance effectively, it has to have that same structure under the ground that corresponds to the top part for the bottom part, because it's the roots of it. The roots of it in a different dimension. You're perceiving the surface level. So that's correspondence. The principle of vibration. The principle of vibration states that all things, both physical matter and spiritual energy, hold a certain vibration. Basic science tells us atoms are in constant motion, as is the universe itself. Even our hearts, as they beat, give off different vibrations depending on our emotional state. And when we're vibing high, we're able to avoid low-level frequencies that don't serve us. As vibrations are frequencies, there are resonant frequencies. An example of a resonant frequency is the frequency listed on a radio dial. If you're tuned into a frequency, you can receive the signals on that spectrum. The act of receiving those frequencies is called resonance. Nothing rests. Everything moves. Everything vibrates. The Kabbalion. The principle of polarity. Now, the principle of polarity elaborates that seemingly opposite things are actually one and the same at varying degrees. The whole set of frequencies encompassing the extremes opposites is called a spectrum. A simple example of this is hot and cold. Cold is just the absence of heat, and they're both one thing: temperature. Physical matter and spiritual energy are the same thing, with spiritual energy vibrating at a much higher level such that it can't be perceived by our senses. Love and hate are two ways of experiencing the same thing, a relationship towards something. This is the foundation of alchemy, or the ability to transmute your experiences at will.